Velsura. That time I got sent back in time as a slime, by Lobotomiskii. Chapter 5 The Hero King and the Evil Dragon Third Pav. Within the royal palace of Dwargon, two powerful beings face each other in an empty room. On one side, the king, Gazel Dwargo, and on the other, a slime. Why would a king grant audience to a slime? Because the slime is no ordinary slime, and Gazel knew that. Without a shred of doubt, this being before him was the catastrophe-class dragon, Veldora, albeit in the form of a slime. After a minute of tense silence, the king speaks. Care to explain how this happened, Storm Dragon Veldora? Gazel Pav. Words truly cannot express how baffled I am at this situation. The small, unassuming creature only a table's distance away from me, is almost definitely the Storm Dragon. Only a month prior, the enormous aura belonging to the Storm Dragon suddenly disappeared, which caused massive unrest among all of the Western nations. And now, just as the situation is calming down, the exact same aura appears before the gates of Dwargon. What truly perplexes me is that the owner of this monstrous aura is a mere slime. Without a doubt, the aura that the slime emitted is the exact same as the aura of the Storm Dragons, but such a case is simply unbelievable, which is why I had to confirm it myself. I activate my skill, Tyrant, on the slime, with hopes to pry into his memories, and what I saw only confirmed my fears. Despite my mental interference being blocked almost immediately by an unknown skill, I had seen enough to confirm the identity of the slime. This slime is, indeed, the Storm Dragon Veldora, Veldora Pav. Cough Storm Dragon Veldora. You're not talking about me, are you? Why, I am but an unassuming shlee. The king releases his aura again, clearly not taking kindly my attempts to fool him. All right. Yes, it's me, Veldora. The king stares at me in silence for a few seconds, before bursting out into laughter. Ho ho ho. Never in my life have I imagined that I would one day see the Storm Dragon reduced to such a pathetic form. The king shouts hysterically, before calming himself. Ahem, so, how in the world did a true dragon get reincarnated as a slime? It was at this point I realized that I do not have a proper explanation as to how I became a slime. I mean, I can't exactly tell him that I got sent back in time by my little brother who just so happens to be God. What a pain. But it is at these very moments that I discover how useful Rimuru's skills were. Suggestion. I have formulated a believable backstory to explain Master's current form. It is. Great Sage uses thought acceleration to create a proper explanation for my current predicament, which conveniently does not include time travel and deified siblings, which I relay to King Gazel. Thank you, Great Sage. After hearing my false story, Gazel appears to be in thought, which probably means he believes my story, probably. Gazel ponders on for a while. I stare at him awkwardly until he finishes his thoughts. I see. How I pity you, Veldora. That's mean, but even if you have assumed a weak form, your existence as one of the most powerful beings in the world still remains, and if you ever regain your power, I would like to know if you are a threat or not. If you are, then I will not hesitate to end your life right here, while I still have the chance. He says that last part in a scary tone. I mean, he can absolutely kill me right now, and I don't have a dragon factor right now, so I will actually die. Rimuru, pick me up, I'm scared. No, I need to calm down. From the past timeline, I know that Gazel is a wise and understanding man. So all I need to do is make sure he understands that I do not wish to harm humanity. Yes, I am but a harmless little lizard at best, don't hurt me. I don't wish to cause trouble to humanity anymore. Throughout the years, I have contemplated my actions, and I believe I have matured very much. I can hear the other me applauding my speech from inside my stomach right now. My goal right now is to create a nation in the Jura Forest. After all, the place is my territory to begin with. From there, my goal is to find a way to return to my true form, or at least attain similar levels of power. The king appears to be in thought again, but his expression is lighter this time. It seems that he has bought into my ruse. Kua ha ha ha. Before the king can respond, I take the initiative with another statement. Also, would you be interested in an alliance? We are only a village right now, but with me as its leader, I believe that I can eventually expand my territory to the entire forest. I think it would be of great benefit to both of us to form an alliance. I boast confidently, but Gazel doesn't seem impressed. My nation is one of the most powerful and economically significant in the world. What makes you think that we would form diplomatic ties with a small village, even if its leader were a catastrophe-class dragon, which by the way you are not right now? I would be hard-pressed to find any benefit for us in this deal. The king looks at me with scornful eyes. It would seem like my plan to ally with Dwargon has failed. But alas, I have anticipated this development. No mere dwarf king can compare to the never-ending genius of the storm dragon. Kua ha ha ha. Kua ha ha ha. I think there is great benefits to reap from a mutual cooperation between us. I confidently shout as I spit out a bottle of full potion. Gazel eyes the bottle curiously, before his eyes open wide with surprise. This is a full potion. Indeed, and I've got far more of that than anyone would ever need. Gazel finally suppresses his surprise, and stops admiring my beautiful product. I suppose your village has some potential after all. No less expected of the storm dragon, I suppose. He shrugs, while I beam at his praise. But right now, as you said, you are only a village. I am open to pursue diplomatic ties only when your village has reached a size enough to be considered a nation, he says sternly. I suppose that's better than nothing. Well then, I have other business to attend to. You see, I am here to hire skilled craftsmen to boost productivity in my empire. The king raises an eyebrow when I say empire, but I continue. I am specifically looking for a blacksmith named Kaijin, as well as the 3 brothers that work with him. It would be great if you would allow me to take them to my village for work. King Gazel looks conflicted for a moment, before sighing heavily. I suppose that can be allowed, but if they refuse to work under you, I will not do anything about that. Kua ha ha ha, many thanks, Gazel. Then I'll be heading off. I quickly jump away. Even after our friendly exchange, I'm still slightly intimidated by the man. By the way, you're the only person I intend to let my identity be known to. I'm using an alias right now, so call me Rimuru. And with that, I leave, leaving behind a slightly confused Gazel. Gazel Pav. I sigh in relief as Veldora I suppose he wants me to call him Rimuru from now on, leaves the room. Despite being many times weaker than me currently, I still cannot get over the feeling of facing a living catastrophe, and even conversing with them. This idea he has about building a nation of monsters is certainly interesting, but it could also threaten Dwargon and many other nations surrounding the Jura forest, so I must be prepared to nip the problem in the bud if the need arises, but I suppose I'll leave that for another day. In the meantime, it will be useful to keep tabs on this potential threat. Henrietta. Yes, Your Majesty. Monitor that slime closely. If it makes any dangerous moves, make sure to report back immediately. Understood. With that, she vanishes into the shadows. Truth be told, I do not think Rimuru will try to actively harm the world, but with dangerous and unpredictable creatures like the storm dragon, you can never be too safe. Extra. 2 days later. Veldora Pav. I am depressed. I'm ashamed of myself for losing sight of my true goals. In the end, I am not a real believer. I am not nearly devoted enough to the sacred texts, and as a result of this foolishness, I have once again failed my greatest mission. I have forgotten to buy paper in Dwargon, and no paper equals no manga. Surely, this blunder is a result of my lack of devotion, as no warning escapes the panels of the sacred texts. I must remember to devote myself more to the sacred texts in the future, so that no mistake like this ever happens again.